is suggesting for giving priorities to things that are really aligned to our goals. Today we will be covering chapter 19, and after that we might have a separate discussion on taking a sample way of how 12-week plan might work, and then see what are the other questions or any doubts around them. Yeah. So that will be the second half of today's discussion. Okay. So I'll start reading and others can join in once. Yeah. Chapter 19, 12-week commitments. This is an email I received from my friend, Mick White. Today is my 36th birthday. This has been on my heart for a while. It's time to share. Nearly 2 years ago, Gregorian calendar, not 12-week year calendar, we went through the 12-week year training. A lot has happened in those 2 years, personally and professionally. I want to share a story about how the 12-week year impacted me personally, as I know you hear all the time about the great things it's doing in our business. In the afternoon of the second day of the workshop, you walked us through the concepts of commitments and you stated the 4 keys to successful commitments. First, burning desire. Second, clear actions. Third, count the cost. And fourth, act on commitments, not feelings. As I thought about what I was going to truly commit to doing, like Noah going after the mosquitoes, I wanted a true commitment that would change my life. I remember writing down my commitment and thinking to myself, I hope nobody else sees this, and I certainly hope Brian doesn't call on me to share my commitments. You see, I wrote down that I was going to call my mom every day, Monday through Friday. It seems simple, doesn't it? My mom and I had a beautiful relationship. She was my biggest cheerleader. I was her rock. There was no woman like my mother. From September 30th, 2009 to 11 June 2011, I called my mom every day, Monday through Friday. We took the weekends off. It wasn't always easy to find the time during the day. It wasn't always convenient, and unfortunately, I'm ashamed to say at times it felt like a burden. However, I do know this. It was the highlight of my mom's day. Each and every time I called, it was the highlight of her day. Now looking back, it was the highlight of my day. Because of that commitment I made on 1st October 2009, my mom and I talked on the phone at least 440 times during those 88 weeks. I have some priceless voicemails, many wonderful memories, and a deeper relationship with my mom. Friday, 11 June 2011 was the last day I ever talked with my mom, as she died unexpectedly on Monday morning, that is 13 June 2011. For my current 12-week plan, I wasn't able to call mom every day, Monday through Friday, as a commitment. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't wish I could call her, and on my birthday, I wish I could hear her voice. The commitment I made changed my life. I'm forever indebted to you. I am committed to executing my new plan as I work to be the person my mom always thought I was. In this message, I'm struck by how such a seemingly simple commitment can have such a profound effect. Sometimes it's the tiniest of commitments that have the biggest impact when we follow through with them. 12-week commitments can truly be life-changing. Very touching example. The power of commitments. Commitment is the second of the 3 principles of the 12-week year. It is defined in the American Heritage Dictionary, 4th edition, as the state of being bound emotionally or intellectually to a course of action or to another person or persons. A commitment is a conscious decision to take specific action to create a desired result. Commitments are powerful in a way. Commitment is accountability projected into the future. You decide beforehand that you will do whatever it takes to reach your goal, and the more accountable you are, the more likely you will meet your commitments. Commitment, the state of being bound emotionally or intellectually to some course of action. We all have examples in our lives of the power of commitment, a time when we locked onto a goal or objective and were willing to do whatever it took to reach it. Think back on a time like that for you. What were your feelings as you followed through and kept your commitment? How did it feel to reach your goal? How did it make you feel about your ability to reach other goals? How did the vision of your ultimate goal affect your decisions and actions even when you were faced with adversity or were tempted to give up? I want to look at commitments on two levels. The first level describes what we refer to as personal commitments. For those we make with ourselves. The second is about the commitments we make to others or our words. Let's start with the personal commitments. Personal commitments. A personal commitment is a promise you make with yourself to take specific actions. It may be working out consistently, spending time with the family, stopping smoking, or making a certain number of sales calls each day. Take a few minutes right now and think about two personal commitments that you have made and kept with yourself. Identify two personal commitments you succeed in keeping. Now think about what the results were for you when you kept these commitments. How did you feel about yourself? Was it easier to make and keep other self promises later on as a result of keeping these? How did you feel about your ability to do what it took to get the result no matter what? Capture your thoughts below. Benefits of keeping personal commitments. In chapter 9, we discussed how powerful commitments are, and yet there are times when all of us struggle to follow through on the commitments we make. New Year's resolutions are often great example of this type of struggle. In fact, most New Year's resolutions are abandoned long before the goal is even close to being realized. Let's take a look at why that is. To frame your thinking, we will use an iceberg as a metaphor. As you are probably aware, a small portion of an iceberg, approximately 10%, is above the waterline, with the bulk of the iceberg submerged below the waterline. What I'm suggesting is that human beings as such are much like icebergs in that at any moment there are only a small fraction of your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations that we are aware of above our waterline of consciousness. The iceberg of intentions. Conscious stated intentions, unconscious hidden intentions. Using the iceberg metaphor, where do you think intentions fall? Above the waterline or below? If you think about it, you will realize that intentions fall both above and below the waterline. What this means is that we have intentions that we are aware of, stated intentions, and those of which we are not aware of, hidden intentions. Often the stated intentions which I am aware of are in conflict with intentions that I am unaware of. Let's look at an example of conflicting intentions. A common New Year's resolution is to lose weight. During our workshop, we often ask the question, who here is overweight by your own standard? Typically, at least half the hands go up. Consider the question for yourself. Are you overweight by your own standard? If your answer is yes, then you have conflicting intentions. At the 10% level, your intention is to reach an ideal weight, but at the 90% level, based on results, you have different intentions. When we ask participants to list some of the hidden intentions, we get the following. I like to eat and don't want to give up the enjoyment of food. I don't want to get out of my warm bed to run in cold weather. I don't want to expend effort. I don't see myself at that weight. I've always been heavy. There is not enough time. Technically, these reasons are the manifestations of deeper intentions like the desire for comfort, pleasure, satisfaction, relaxation, entitlement, and so on. The point is that often hidden intentions exist below the waterline and conflict with other stated intentions, so we struggle to keep our commitments and following through on our intentions. Successful commitment occurs when your stated intentions are stronger than your hidden intentions, or when you consciously reconcile the conflict. Let's look at a business example. For many sales professionals, generating consistent referrals can be the difference between success and failure. But even sales representatives with the stated intention to ask for a certain number of referrals per week often don't ask. Clearly, something is getting in the way. What might be some of the sales representatives' hidden intentions regarding asking for referrals? Possible hidden intentions. I haven't earned the referral. I don't want to risk the current sale by asking for a referral. I have a fear of rejection. I don't want to appear needy. I want to be liked. It might make the situation uncomfortable. The probability of a sale representative with a set of hidden intention like these asking for a referral is close to zero. To be effective, the representative would need to first know that these intentions exist and then reconcile them with the desire to gain referrals. In chapter 9, we gave you 4 keys to successful commitments. As a reminder, they are strong desire, keystone actions, count the cost, act on commitments, not feelings. Now let's put these 4 keys to use. Commitment exercise. In this exercise, we will have you work through the process of establishing a set of 12-week commitments. Below is a 12-week year commitment worksheet with steps you can follow to complete. First, determine a few goals that would represent a real breakthrough for you in one of the categories in the commitment wheel: spiritual, spouse or relationship, family, community, physical, personal, or business. Write these goals in the section 19.2 titled Goal Statements. Remember to state these goals positively and with as much specificity as possible. Make them measurable. So positive, specificity, measurable. As an example, let's use this goal. I will weigh 185 pounds and have 10% body fat. Personal commitments are a powerful way that you can create change in your life. So here is the different aspects of life, and here is the commitment cost. Here is the 12-week goal statement and keystone actions to achieve the goal and the cost involved in committing to this goal. Next, identify the keystone action that will have the biggest impact on reaching your goal. It's important to note that we are not saying that this is necessarily the only action that you will need to take. It's just the one with the greatest impact. Ideally, this action is something that you can engage in daily or weekly. Write one action for each goal in the column labeled Keystone Actions. Sticking with an example of getting in shape, there are a lot of things I can do to lose weight and get fit. The 2 basic categories are diet and exercise. But within those, I have dozens of choices regarding my nutritional choices and exercise habits. I need to choose one action that more than any other will positively impact my fitness. Ideally, it should be catalytic in that it will encourage me to do the other actions as well. Personally, if I work out 4 or more times per week, my eating habits automatically improve. So my keystone action for getting fit is working out. This is an important step because to be successful, you will need to not only commit to your goal, but also more importantly, commit to your keystone action. Now determine the cost that you will have to pay to consistently take the action every week. Write those in the box under commitment costs. This is where you surface your hidden intentions that may conflict with your stated goal. For example, the costs of working out every day might include giving up TV, cutting back on golf, socializing less, spending less time with family, getting up earlier, and exercising regardless of how tired I feel. The costs of dieting might include giving up on some of your favorite foods, reducing the number of times I eat out, and eating smaller portions. Finally, circle the keystone actions for which you are willing to pay the costs. They are now your commitments for the next 12-week year. These are the actions that will enter into your 12-week plan and execute each week. Anyone interested to read from here?
Yes, I may.
Yeah, please, Suman. Thanks.
Commitment to others. The second type of commitment that I want to explore relates to the promises you make to others. To begin to address how to be even more successful in keeping these promises, take a few minutes and answer the questions below. Think about a time when someone promised you something that was very important to you and didn't do it. Describe the situation and how it made you feel. Recall a specific time when you made a commitment to someone else and you did not come through. How did they feel? How did you feel? What is the impact of broken promises on each party and on the relationships? When we ask participants in our workshops to tell us the results of a broken promise, here are just a few examples of comments we hear. Loss of integrity, loss of confidence in the person who lets us down, loss of trust, and breakdown in relationship. Yeah, next page. It is a short list and an ugly one. Not following through on your commitments destroys relationships and contributes to failure and self esteem issues. Most relational pain comes as a result of broken promises, either explicit or implicit. Explicit promises are your stated word, while implicit promises are inferred. Some common examples of implicit promises are for a father or mother to protect their children from harm, for a spouse to love and comfort their partner, for a leader to provide vision and to act fairly, for a leader to provide training and development. We all have implicit promises with others that we need to be aware of. What are the implicit promises that you have in your professional and personal life? How are you delivering on these? In what ways can you improve? Just as there are steps to making and keeping personal commitments, there are also some key steps to keeping your stated promises with others. A strong desire to keep your word. If your word means little, then you will struggle to keep your promises. If you understand the fallout of broken promises and the benefits of keeping your promises, and if your word is important to you, then you will be more likely to keep your promises with others. Count the costs. Just like with personal commitments, it is important to count the costs before making a promise to someone, even though there are times when it is difficult in the moment to stop and consider them. If you commit only later to realize that you are unable or unwilling to follow through, renegotiate the promise quickly before it is due. Next is act on your promises. Similar to personal commitments, there will be times when you just flat out don't feel like following through. Those are the times when you will need to intentionally act on your promises, not your feelings. Thinking shift. To be consistent with your commitments will require you to align your thinking with a few core beliefs. The first is that it is okay to say no. People would rather you say no than break a promise. The challenge is that in the moment, it can be hard to say no because you don't want to disappoint anyone. They are standing right there in front of you, and you have this opportunity to contribute and help them out. It feels so much better to say yes than no, but while saying no may disappoint in the moment, It is so much better in the long run than being overcommitted and not delivering on your promises. It is okay to say no. It really is. Because commitments will require you to sacrifice. In addition to learning to say no, you will need to train yourself to think about and connect with the longer term benefits versus the short term inconvenience and discomfort. Delayed gratification is the productive thought. This is not a concept that most people seem interested in, yet it remains the straightest line to your goals. This is why the first key to effective commitments is a strong desire. The commitment mindset is to choose pleasurable results over pleasurable activity. With commitments and anything you are serious about for that matter, don't give yourself a psychological out. Jim Collins wrote a terrific article for Fast Company entitled Leadership Lessons of a Rock Climber. In it, he introduced the concept of failure versus failure. Jim used his experience as a rock climber to describe the concept. Here is an excerpt. Failure and failure. The difference is subtle. Sorry, I earlier I read it failure and failure. It was failure and failure. The difference is subtle, but it is all the difference in the world. In failure, you still do not get up the route, but you never let go. In failure, you fall. In failure, you let go. Going to failure means full commitment to go up, even if the odds of success are less than 20%, 10%, or even 5%. You leave nothing in reserve, no mental or physical resource untapped. In failure, you never give yourself a psychological out. Well, I didn't really give it everything. I might have made it with my best effort. In failure, you always give your full best, despite the fear, pain, lactic acid, and uncertainty. To the outside observer, failure and failure look similar. You fly through the air in both cases, but the inner experience of failure is totally different from that of failure. You will only find your true limit when you go to failure, not failure. Commitments, by definition, demand you go to failure, not failure. Set it in your mind right now that the process is more important than the result. You don't control the result. What you control are your actions. Don't worry that. Yeah, next page. I can't see the screen. Are you there?
Yeah, the screen I think is not there. Manisali, I think it got disconnected. The share screening thing. Acha, Manisali is only disconnected, I think. Oh, I think there must be some network issue at her end or something. Uh, Let me see if I can just check with her, like if she's joining or then what to do. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, since we are anyways waiting, if anyone just want to share or discuss something till the time we are back on the screen and Manisali is back with us, you can just open up and share since we have time. Just share whatever you have read and whatever we have read and understood so far.
It's hitting a nail on my head, I tend to think that uh, if everything is flashing by as to what actually happens or has been happening. And acknowledging those hidden intentions really needs a lot of courage, at least, and grit, at least. That is what that came to my mind. That to sit and acknowledge where what is holding you back is not something of your circumstances, but something of your belief and your intentions, and hidden intentions. And the fact about the failure and failure aspect of it also holds significance.
Yeah, same here, same here. For me also, no, it was an eye opener. Hi, Maniselvi, you're there? So we just lost you. So we were just discussing what we covered so far, just to keep the time. Can you hear us? Hi.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
I'm just sharing that document 1 minute
Yeah,
because I
no
had
problem.
some problem with the network.
Yeah, I thought so. We thought so. Yeah, no problem. Happens. So yeah, basically, even for me, it was an eye opener. I always believed and understood about this intention and hidden intention, because you sense that with people, with so many situations, even with yourself, right? We are operating to real intentions at times and in many places, and that's how we learn not to and be authentic. Is like it's at least it's my effort, but. But I love the way he has explained it through the iceberg example. And in fact, I feel this chapter is very, very key. It is actually telling us the whole implementation of the book in a very different way. And I'm really liking this approach, and I would follow through. So yeah, thank you for that. So yeah, Manisali, have you shared or something?
Actually, I'm not able to share it.
Okay, so
Can
do
I
you
share
want me
the?
to share?
Do you want me to the book?
Yeah. Just give me a minute.
I also was reminded about the wheel of life exercise that we did in NLP, and most of the aspects at least I've covered it and worked on it. The application aspect of it has been, left um, a lot of room for improvement.
Yes, perfectly. I feel even I remembered of that. There is this thing, na positive intention in NLP, but I feel that is still a single intention. I love the way the author has shared it. It's not just one intention. It's like we need to identify those two intentions. Okay, what is on the surface and what is underneath the surface. So that's what I really liked about it. So just sorry, Manisalvi, I'm sharing the this thing. I'll
Yeah.
just share something when we talk in the discussion. Let me share the PDF because I can't do both at the same time. Just let me share the PDF. Give me- Sorry for the this thing. Someone please help me with the page number and the part that we were reading, please. Can you just name it?
160. Final suggestion. It begins with your goal might be too big or you might fall short. So what? 160. Yeah. You just surpassed. Yes.
Okay, should I read from commitments by definition? From here?
Yeah, maybe. So this is the same paragraph.
Okay,
You can
okay.
start.
Commitments by definition demand you go to failure, not failure. Set it in your mind right now that the process is more important than the result. You don't control the result. What you control are your actions. Don't worry that your goal might be too big or that you might fall short. So what? When you make a commitment, don't give yourself an out. The final suggestion, as it relates to your thinking, is this: you need to know that every time you push through the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that accompanies any challenge, the benefits go far beyond the particular situation and shape who you become in the process. There is something empowering and liberating about knowing if you say you are going to do something that you can count on yourself to come through. Yeah, next page. Team application. As a leader, your ability to make and keep commitments is essential in building and maintaining strong relationships and a productive workforce. Broken promises drain emotional bank accounts and damage relationships. One of our clients, Jim, the CEO of a successful financial services firm, was meeting with one of his direct reports and sensed an underlying tension. The conversation seemed less open and much more strained than usual. So Jim confronted the problem and asked if anything was wrong. The person pointed out that Jim had agreed to do something but had failed to follow through with it. Until that moment, Jim had been completely unaware of the broken promise. When he looked back through his notes, sure enough, there it was, his commitment to check on an item and get back within the week. At that point, 2 months had passed since he made the agreement. Next page. What I find interesting about this situation is that the associate had not said anything about it and may have never said anything if Jim had not had the insight to notice and the courage to ask. But clearly, it was affecting how he felt about Jim and his working relationship with him. You are not going to be perfect. You are not going to be perfect, but as much as possible, be aware of the commitments you make and do everything in your power to deliver on time. If you want a culture that is good at keeping commitments and people who follow through on what they say, then be a role model for your team. Yes, if anybody else want to read, please go ahead. Should I continue or someone wants to read?
There are only two pages.
Okay,
Suman.
okay.
Can you
Okay,
continue?
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I can read.
Ji, Manish ji, go ahead.
Try to read from Pitfall 1.
Yes. Common
Okay.
pitfalls and success tips.
Okay. Common pitfall and success tips. Pitfall 1. You miss a commitment once and give up. Sometimes life gets in the way and you are not able to meet your commitments. So you disappoint yourself and others. When this happens, it is important to get right back on the horse. Don't give up. Pitfall 2. You fail to confront missed commitments. A commitment is not an interest that gets abandoned when it gets difficult. When things get in the way of meeting a commitment, it is important to dig into why. Confront the breakdown right away and recommit to paying the price. In that way, you grow your ability to make and meet commitments in the future. Pitfall 3. You don't value your word. Sometimes we make promises that we cannot keep. Many times we know this before we make the promise. Well, we avoid short-term relationship pain by saying yes when we should say no. The problem is that when you break your word, you damage relationships. Others feel that they can no longer trust you. When you value keeping your word, you avoid making promises that you know you cannot or will not keep. Tip number one, don't overcommit. Commitments are serious. Treat them that way. Don't take on more than you can handle. With personal commitments, two or three is usually plenty. And in some cases, committing to one thing is even better. With your promises to others, know that most people would rather hear you say no than say yes and not deliver. Tip number two, go public with your commitments. If you are serious about your commitments, then tell someone you trust. Anytime you tell a friend or co-worker about a commitment, it creates an added level of determination on your part to follow through. Tip number three, buddy up. As with so many things in life, it is easier with a friend. Mm. Okay. As with the so many things in life, it is easier with a friend. Where possible, find a friend, co-worker, or family member, or to engage along with you. The support and encouragement increases your odds of success and makes the process more fun. Chapter 20, your first 12 weeks. The purpose of this chapter is to give you a proven path for the next 12 weeks so you can apply the concepts of the 12-week year in your life and in your profession. We wrote this book with a fundamental intent that it could be executed as written. There is nothing else you need to get going with the 12-week year. So let's get started. Research on what it takes to make change happen and to sustain it shows that there are some things that you can do to increase your odds of being successful with the 12-week year. The approach we have outlined in this chapter, as well as the fundamental design of the program itself, leverages what it takes for you to change effectively. As you read through this chapter, feel free to dip into relevant chapters in this book for more detail and ideas to support you. It is our deepest desire to help you create new results in your life. As you apply the 12-week year, please email us to let us know how you are doing. Can you scroll down? The 12-week year is designed to help you to perform at your best through more effective execution, but to realize its full value, there are a few things that will help you to increase your odds of success.
Manish, we will stop here today and reflect back on what we have read so far. So please share this, your whatever you felt that resonated, some things which clarified. Yeah, anything that anybody wants to add. Just before we go in for the points, we want to, there will be a hard stop at 3:15. We can't go beyond discussion on that time. So let's try to limit the discussion by 3:10 or so, right? Yeah, please go on.
No one wants to speak. So I personally would like to share that I love the chapter. In fact, I found it very practical and implementable. The iceberg intention part, we were already discussing that. That was very enlightening for me. That was something that was like an aha moment for me today. And the wheel of life I am aware of. since we have been doing it in to many places, I think the areas are very different. There, I think in this wheel of life there are 7 areas, and I think more of the charts and everything are shared in this chapter. So it's like practically the author is helping us to implement all through whatever he has been sharing in the book. So it was a good read and a wonderful experience for me, and I'm looking forward to implement it now, on a very serious note. So yeah, that's from me.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I want to add that, when we set our 12 plan for 12-week-year plan, and when we set the list of things to be done, like all the list of items and the list of actions we need to take. So when we declare it within a trusted group of maybe a friend or a family member, that makes it more. It adds to the responsibility, enjoyment, fun, and kind of, uh, you feel that, when you make a commitment to somebody who is important for you, right? So you find it more meaningful for yourself, because when you want to prove to somebody, right? So you don't want to look like a loser or not showing to the commitment. And at the same time, the other person is also going to support you in some good ways, like motivating. And when we achieve something, he will encourage you, motivate you, and just like emotionally you feel more stronger and responsible. So I think that is also a very important point. And uh, when you talk to somebody that you have made a commitment to, you also add some new perspective. You can take some suggestion, feedbacks, and it supports you in some good way to work on your commitments. And the one more concept was failure and failure. So failure is something, we are focusing on the end result, like being successful or not successful. But then the failure is that, you focus on the process, not on the outcome. Yeah, because see, when because the outcome is not in your hands, right? So, but we can focus on the process and make the required actions, and just being committed to the process and not worrying about the result. And because when we are very much focused on the result, sometimes uh, if you're not doing well, we might be in a position to lose interest, or a feeling lack of action and things like that. So and when we are focusing in the future, basically we are expecting something to happen in the future. But when we are doing the failure thing, we are focusing on the present moment, like let me do the best right now and not worry about the results. So in that way, you are when the moment, you can be more mindful of taking the required actions, and not really worried about the result, because the result sometimes makes you weaker in some sense, because you don't want to show yourself like you didn't you were not successful, or you failed in that activity or something. So these are two different powerful concepts, and I think like when we focus on failure, we are mindful in the present moment and doing our best. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Manishi, to bring out that failure and failure very, very, crisp manner. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. So for me, these pages that we read today was more from understanding why most of our desires are not getting converted into success, why they are stuck in the desire stage itself. So that is majorly due to lack of commitment or lack of total understanding, total surrender to that goal. So this page just made me think that, you need to think a bit more before you commit to a goal. It has to be a kind of a well-rounded and well understood aspect. One is the different aspects of life that the wheel covers. Second, it is also important that one has to understand that just meeting a goal is not that you'll be able to easily do that. There will be some hurdles. And what are the touch points that you will have to have, the key points that you will have to achieve so that the goal is, the goal is actually being successful. So this actually nudges us to not think superficially at a desire level, but really understand at a need level and also see that what are the contradicting beliefs or what are the contradicting thought processes or actions or behaviors or habits that are not in alignment with that right now. So those have to be warded off before we actually set towards the goal. So I think that is the reason the iceberg concept was being discussed, and it is very good metaphor or analogy that has been given. Next thing is how to hit a balance on commitment. What you desire or what you truly want, need, you do it, and then you do whatever it takes. While doing that, you'll have to sometimes balance it on it. So don't look at too much of failure. Look at more as why you committed initially and what it will give you. So the commitment has to have a balance of its own. You'll have to say no to many things, maybe, but then that no should not be with guilt, but with more clarity of mind that this is what I ventured to do and this is the reason I am doing it. Also, sometimes we tend to overcome it also. We look beyond the reach. So we have to also have a loop feedback mechanism where we understand that this is not working due to a reason that maybe this is not the right time. Maybe I am not able to do it with the other set of things that I have on my plate right now, which are also priorities. So that kind of reflection, understanding also this commitment would need. Right. So it was quite a pages where it gave clarity to what the word commitment stand for and how we can link it to the practical life as such. So if anybody has any points, please let me know. Or then I will just want to share a bit of small notes that I had put together.
Yeah,
with all of you.
one thing which this is Vidya. I've not been regular in this group, but the book is very something which I heard about very recently, and I started looking at it, and more from intellectually how I can follow through. And one of the things that it is very important is that what they are talking about, the iceberg of intentions, like what is the subconscious actually looking at, and is the subconscious asking for something different from what our conscious mind is wanting. So if there is a desire which is at odds, then the first thing is for us to be aware of it, and then trying to see if that whatever that subconscious desire it is, can we bring it to the fore and see if there is something we can do so that we can meet that and do this particular commitment, so that it's not like either or, but we are including both. So that is one thing which I felt is important. The second thing is that if one for days together, sometimes if the commitment is not getting met for because you don't have a buddy, or you're not able to do it because of other things coming on top of already having a full plate, then it's not to abandon the goal, but to see what else can be done to make sure that we can restart. So the main thing that I'm learning is that be clear about commitments and share the commitment and make it public, so that even if you don't have a buddy or anything, but you are making it public, so then you owe it to the world, to the universe, that you are keeping up with your commitment. And the commitments that we actually set are some things we believe in. It's not like our subconscious is coming on top of it and say that, okay, if there is, say, an instant gratification, something that gives us that, then would we be still willing to follow through with the commitment, or would we be getting attracted to something else? So we have to be clear that if there is a conflicting priority or there is a conflicting item, then we have to be, we have to be clear that the commitment is something we are genuinely ready to keep up with. So that's what I felt.
Thanks, Vidya, to add your points to the discussion. Anyone else wants to say anything? Okay, so I would like to share some things, yeah. So these are the notes that I have put together just as a reference point so that we can discuss further. Because yesterday we had a lot of discussion, but we didn't have any concrete base to refer to and see what it is actually, seeing an example, we could understand things much better. So just try to put a example together so that we can also see whether this example holds good to what the book says. So just have an open mind and put down notes. If there are some points here and there which you notice may not be consistent, just hold on, because there is a flow which I will go through, and then maybe we can discuss further on the points that you raise or the points that you note or want to add on. Yeah. So is it fine, or is there anyone who would like to add before I start this discussion? Okay. So what I understand is 12-week year is basically just for us to bring the focus on what really matters to us. Today we are doing n number of things. So it is not only just out of the n number of things what are not required, chalk it off, but rather in the things that we are doing, what are the non-negotiables, what are the negotiables, and what are the things that additionally you'll have to do to take care of yourself. Yeah. So the 12-week year doesn't eliminate your normal work. It just focuses your most productive time on the critical few actions that move your big goals forward. So big goals will be the highest priority that you have taken up for this 12-week year phase. Right? You plan and prioritize strategic activities first, and then accommodate operational or buffer tasks later. So that's how we will have to split our day's work. So if I have taken a 16-hour day as a concept here, leaving the 8 hours for sleep, so the breakdown will be for the 16 hours. That's how I've based this. So you have 3 hours of strategic block. This is purely in the book that is given. Yesterday, someone raised a question that whether 3 hours in a day. The book suggests that 3 hours has to be in one day itself, entire 3 hours. You can chalk it on any of the days of the week. You should ideally have 3 hours per week and 3 hours in a day, in a specific day. Say, and it also says that you take this strategic hour in earliest in the week, so that if there are any delays or if there is you are not able to fulfill that, by the end of the week you can accommodate in your schedule. So that is what it says. Now, what is this strategic block about? The strategic block of 3 hours is specifically, which is the sacred time for your 12-week goal, is for the big thinking part of it. Okay, and how you plan for your future, how do you look at your priorities in a different. So it is more of a reflective, but yes, from a long term and a higher priority list. It's not about meager day-to-day activities, but it is more at a high level, a big thinking level. So for example, this is a case of a manager that I've taken here. So KPIs are important for him. He's a sales manager, so KPI is important for him. That also goes into his strategic block, because he has to adhere to his KPI. If he doesn't, then he's at a loss. Way I handle the work planning, as in how the allocation, not on a day-to-day basis, on a broader level, what resource to retain, what resource to go out. I'm just giving an example to make it more practical and relatable here. Like planning for the upcoming 6 months in terms of pipelines, in terms of the revenue generation that is required versus what is already achieved. All those strategy for capability building. Say he needs to build some capabilities, do some additional stuff for his position or to get to the next position, and relook at the priorities. Yes, that always adds, because priorities keep changing. So you'll also have to keep shuffling that list to sort out what is not priority. All right. Other hours. So what will other hours consider of routine work? operational tasks, meetings, and personal responsibilities. This is just for mere convenience. I've just put everything in this, right? So in a day, it might look like 1 hour. See, considering the author has said 3 hours strategic block, I've just put for my convenience 3 hours of professional strategic block and 2 hours of my personal strategic block to it. So roughly 1 hour of strategic block each day. So this is a roughly for a day. 1 hour strategic block, I give 6 hours of regular work, which will be as a sales manager, I have to look at the projects that I'm handling. I'll have to also see that how things are being administered. I have to attend meetings, right? This is basically all that is pre-scheduled and excluding emails and calls, which are something I will put in the buffer or the 2 hour buffer period that I have each day. But other than that, whatever regular work I have to do, I will put it in this 6 hour regular work slot. Okay, then 2 hours I buffer for unexpected issues. That is some internal meetings come up, some internal MIS demand, some random requests, okay, which cannot be denied, of course. So that I will use the buffer 2 hours, or some client sudden request at the end, so end of the day. So that I'll have in the buffer period. Now this 1 hour is my fitness time, which is part of my goal. I'll explain it a bit more below. 6 hours is my personal time. That's how I have shaped this day of 24 hours. 6 hours of my personal time, say family, meals, and transit, to and back from the home. 8 hours of sleep. So if you see 24 hours is how I have scheduled this, and this is how it mota looks, right? So it is one kind of a slice of a day within a week, if you can see in that way. Right. Any questions so far? I'll continue. Is it clear, or it's
Manisha, the author has said strategic block is 3 hours, but you given 1 hour only.
I just explained, no, I have taken 3 hours as professional and 2 hours for my personal. I have expanded it 5 hours, right, for convenience, and I've put each day as 1 hour strategic block. This is my assumption. This I have specifically put because he has said 3 hours, but for me, professional itself will take 3 and 2 hours I'll take for personal. To think of in one day, I will have 1 hour strategic block. Just an example. Just an example, Krishna.
Okay.
You will get clarification as I progress. But if you have to understand a day, how it will change, I've just tried to put this as an example, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So vision. So what does this book says? First, have a clear vision as to what you want to achieve, right? This has to be basically a more long-term vision, and then cut short it to the 12-week period, what you want to achieve in relation to that vision in this 12-week year, right? In this 12 weeks, upcoming next 12 week of planning. So vision statement is becoming a successful sales leader. So I'm a sales manager right now. I want to become a successful sales leader. So that is my long-term goal. Maintain excellent personal health. I don't want to negotiate health. Establish a strong professional brand on LinkedIn, because as a salesperson and not basically wanting to be a top management level, I also want a great professional brand on LinkedIn. So these are the 3 main vision statements or vision that is I have put together. Now, what are the goals that I am addressing for these with this vision in the 12-week year, right? This I have to put with the lag indicators. Lag indicators will be, again, I will explain. So I want to achieve, for the first vision, I want to achieve $1 lakh in sales in this 3 months or 12 weeks, right? The total sales will be the indicator where I'm lagging, whether I've already achieved my target or whether I'm in lagging. So I will keep track of my total sales revenue, and periodically I can judge. That will be my lag indicator. Lose 3 kgs. Sales manager wants his weight to be proper, so you want to lose 3 kilos. And what will be the lag indicator? What is the weight? Whether the weight has reduced by 3 kgs or not. Consistently posting engaging LinkedIn content twice weekly. Number of LinkedIn posts published. So the number of LinkedIn posts that is published will be the lag indicator. 2 are required on a weekly basis. Say I do only 1, so then there is a lag of 1. So why it is important I put the lag indicators? For me to monitor whether I'm on the right track or not, right? So when I set goals, again, all those things, with it should be precise, it should be measurable, it should be time bound, and it should be, it should be in clear words, not increase the sales. It's a vague statement. So $1 lakh increase in sales, right? So those parameters you have to apply while putting the goals, and also put lag indicators for each goal for you to measure. Now coming to weekly tactics. What is weekly tactics? It's tactics instead of the word tactics, it is the tasks that you will have to actually achieve. These are strategic actions for goal. So if I have to achieve these many sales, I need to do these weekly tactics so that I achieve it, right? Now when you see, it will be for the each week. So most of this, like what I've covered in the first week, is something which I'll have to repeat every week, right? So for example, first week, add 50 new leads, 10 calls, 5 proposals, right? I think it should be 5 new leads. Okay, 5 new leads, that reasonable. 10 calls, make 10 calls, send 5 proposals. Okay, for this is for my sales goal. Now for my fitness goal, 4 workouts, minimum 4 workouts I have to do, track my calorie intake through an app or something, and go for a exercise, or 8,000 steps a day I should cover. Goal 3, which is the LinkedIn post, draft and schedule 2 posts, right? 2 posts I have to make, engage 15 minutes. So I'll also have to see the feedback that it gets, the things that are, the reviews that are coming, the comments that are being posted. So this is the slice for the first week alone. But what will happen second week? Maybe I will have to add to this a run one outreach campaign, right? I will have to do something extra or specific in that week. Okay, say for example, I'll have to weigh in at the end of the second week. This remains same. Okay, now come 8th week. What has happened? I have to go for the trade expo at New Delhi just for my first goal. Then I have some Ayurvedic massage and cleansing for the fitness goal. Then I have to connect with more people on LinkedIn for the third goal, and follow key influencers in the 8th week maybe. Now in the 12th week, I'll have to start closing on the goals. So follow up with all prospects, close deals. For the fitness goal, it will be the same, and for the goal, or maybe the vein will come in here also. And for goal 3, again, you'll have to just analyze how far you have engaged people, how many reviews are coming in, and how far you have improved on the ratings or whatever, right? So this is done. So this is basically a weekly slice of whatever we have said that we would do for the goals that we have to achieve. That if I have been able to convey, that there might be some changes on a week to week basis, some activities will remain the same. Okay, now lead indicators. What are lead indicators? Basically, if I have committed that I will make 4 workouts, or basically add 5 new leads, then whether I have added 5 new leads, the number of leads I have committed versus the number of leads I have generated, that would be my lead indicator, right? So I need to track this on a weekly basis, how many I have done. So that is for each goal, what are my lead indicators. Then I get the scorecard. Now what is a scorecard? Percentage of tactics completed. What I had committed versus what I have achieved, what is the percentage? Now notes and adjustment would be, say for example, today I feel that committing 4 days or sending 5 proposals each week is not possible, then I'll have to relook what else can be done. So there has to be notes and adjustments to the plan, because as we all practically know, things keep evolving, things keep changing. So maybe we'll have to also reflect back initially more frequently, but as you go, you have to just monitor the progress. So these notes and adjustments are also important. Use the scorecard every week for accountability. Now, buffer time planning also we need to do properly. Say, if there are any adjustments, carry forward from, from the earlier days that we have not completed some task, use the buffer time to complete the unfinished tasks and which were to be finished in the strategic activities. Okay, breakout blocks. Yes, even the book covers that initially don't take for breakout blocks. Once you settle into the process, have it. If you have it, have it. They have suggested some Friday. You can have it, but it is more as a breakout block is nothing but a time when you don't do anything of the job. You do about the job. You don't talk about it. You don't actually discuss with people. It's more of a relaxation in between of your day, so that you can refresh yourself and come back, right? So that is the breakout block, which is also important. Everyone with me so far? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Weekend daily plan. So now how I have done it is just a sample how my 16-hour day as a sales manager will look basis the 12-week plan that I have. From 6 o'clock a.m. to 10 p.m. I have jotted down. So 6 to 7, first I have given priority to my fitness goal. Morning I'll work out or go for the walk as targeted. Then 7 to 7:30, I have a strategic block. I will be planning and doing key decision deliberation for home as well as office. So this is the half an hour block I have put here every day. Okay, 7:30 to 9. Personal. This is my personal time for my family, my breakfast, all that thing, and go reaching the office. Once I reach the office, 9:30 to 11 is my strategic activities. When I say strategic activities, all in alignment with my 12-week year. Okay, so whatever I've committed, the 3 goals, I will do all the activities in relation to that only in this. Okay, try and avoid to do anything else, and trying to avoid to get distracted, or so it would be like I'll be just focusing on these things. So Monday to Friday sales calls any have to do, follow-ups करना है, proposals भेजना है, and outreach जो भी है वो we'll have to keep checking the MIs as well, how much we have reached. In addition, Wednesday, what I will do, I'll put a LinkedIn post, create a content, maybe that will need some refinement, some information, some more research. Thursday, network meeting with other departments. This is just to see how I can increase my sales through other people's contacts or through the work that other people are doing in other areas, right? Then Friday, LinkedIn plus review. So I put the post on LinkedIn. I see the reviews and tweak plan for the coming week. So this also is like whether any changes or anything major has coming up next week, anything which I need to understand, or even look at the next week's plan and see whether there is any requirement. Okay. So 11 to 1, there's a regular work. So I have to emails that I have to answer, administrative tasks and meetings. So I have to also see how my projects are working, functioning, what are the issues, how are the things. So this is all regular work. 1 to 2 is lunch plus buffer, handle unplanned work. 2 to 6 is regular work, projects, team meetings, manager. So these two, if you see 11 to 1 and 2 to 6, I put like regular work only. So this is all something which you routinely do in your role, but maybe these are not strategic or important as far as your goals are concerned, specific goals are concerned, I would say. 7 to 8, again, I have a dinner, light dinner and some activity which is part of my fitness thing. 8 to 10 is my personal time when I have family, reading or some unwinding. Okay. So net, what is happening? I give 1.5 hours to my goal 1, 1.5 hours to my goal 2. And 1 hour of this goal 3 is included in this, goal 3, the hours are included in this goal 1 itself. So my focus is 3 hours in a day. I'm focusing on my goals that I have planned for the 12-week year. Plus there is a 0.5 hour of strategic block that I have built into this daily format. Yeah. Now, yeah. So anyone has any questions, any doubts, anything they want to add? Is there anything they feel that needs correction here?
Yeah, one thing I find very important is that, in your goal sheet, when you are doing our strategic blog and all that, we should always mention that act with commitment, not feelings. Because what I feel, emotion play a very critical role in our day-to-day actions, whether we take action or not take action. Because emotion is a very powerful thing. It can lift you up or lift you down in so many different ways. So I think if we can focus on like act with commitment, not emotions. So I think that makes a good important point for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So just one other quick thing. See, when I was trying to do more research on, on the achieve part that they have given in the book, and also on how to implement it better, what I understood is, there is one other book that is there, which is on the implementation part. But I think it seems to be a new version, a better edition of whatever is already there. So if you want to see the book.
It's the same book, 12-week year?
Actually, it's a new edition, it seems. I'm still not able to venture too much and see what it is about. But it is the book is actually labeled differently, the 12-week year field guide.
Okay,
Right?
okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it is more on the implementation part. It is I see normal whatever is, it's similar to what the chapter headings are, but this seems to be a bit shorter, and it covers many illustrations as such. So one key thing which I noticed here is this weekly or a daily thing that they have put a plan. If you see the strategy block, they have put it in Tuesday, right? So this is entire 3 hours they are wanting to put in one day, right? Buffer block is say 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Then there is this WAM, that is the meetings with, then weekly planning. This is also, there is a buffer block here as well. Administrative, some appointments, prospecting appointments. So these are the regular work in the black boxes. And then there is this breakout block, second and fourth week. This is for the personal time out of work to regenerate and refresh. And there is again a buffer block at 4 p.m. So they have this maybe the week, the working time to 7 to 4. So that's they have put it. So it's a sample weekly time block. So what I'm trying to put across is this. I recently noticed that there is another book of the similar, thing. I've not yet explored it.
This is very interesting. Is it a PDF? Can you share that?
Yeah, I
And
will
can we
share. So
also
what I
go
plan to
through
do
this
is I
after
will
this
share.
book?
Sorry.
And can we just go through this one, this version also once we are done with this? Like, is it
Yeah.
a short one? Is it possible?
Yeah, so what I propose now is based on whatever I showed you on the Word, similar to that, if you can prepare your own plans, see, deliberate and go deeper and see where you are coming with the issues, right? Once we have an idea as to what we want, right, then we can actually refer back to this book in the upcoming week, and then we can actually, while reading these, solve all those things, right? So is it okay for everyone? Then we can take up this book once we complete some 20 odd pages in the current book.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like, awesome. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
because
this. It will
because
help us understand it better.
so instead of rereading the same book, at personal thing, I think everybody will want to go back and see what is this strategic block or how it will work for them. So instead, I think this will be better because this somewhere the language is much better in the sense that they have, I think, taken feedback as to how they have refined the old book and brought this out. But this will have examples, better examples than what. Okay, so how
So
about
are we just curious, Maniselvi, are we going to like once we are done with this book that we are reading right now, the 20th chapter, we are going to take this up as another book, like the way we do another book, and again go through it page by page? Like, this is what you suggest?
See, my suggestion is you take a feeler as to how you want to process. Either we go certain chapters, we will see, we'll go in detail, or it can be we can just reread it so that all things get cleared and we can discuss better. Right. Say for
I am
example,
okay with rereading. We can go with a collective call. Like, I'm
yeah, that's
just,
why I'm
and
asking
you
for
are just
others'
listen.
opinion as well. Yeah. What do they
I'm
think?
also okay with the rereading. Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Rereading, please.
Yeah, so it is basically not going to be rereading of the same book. It is basically a reading of a better version of the same book.
Yeah,
Correct,
but
With
correct.
more
yeah,
good
we will go
examples.
through the concepts again. Yeah, and
Yes,
that's the good
yes.
thing. Yeah.
And that also will give us, if there is a gap between our understanding, what we have understood, what issues we come with implementation, I think we can go through this and understand better.
Yeah,
Right?
and I feel what we can also do, since like this is what I would be doing for myself. So since I have to go back to this book, I wanted to go back to this book and just read it on my own, or like just brush through the pages a little on my own, and like considering my personal things. So maybe we can also do that simultaneously instead of like going it by itself, like the first book that we are reading right now. We can just go it topic wise, as we are covering the same topic in the new book. We can just refer to the old book also, like just to understand if there is a difference, of if there is no difference or whatever it is, and then actually implement as we read through this simultaneously.
Yeah, we can do that comparative kind of thing. But yes, this will be shorter any which ways, and I think this will be more crisper if I can see some language what they have. It is almost the same stuff, and there are many pictures and this graph, so the reading will not be much. So it will be hardly 120 pages, if I can see that. Right? But I
Yeah,
think
great.
this will be more clarificatory. So I think we should go for it, even if not thinking that we are reading the same stuff. I think it will be really helpful and clarificatory, if I would say, for reading this. Yeah.
Yes. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do.
Okay. So any questions on the Word document that I had given, or is there any comments for improvements in that?
Can you please share that PDF document you just shared the slides on?
You want me to open it right now?
I want to consult it later on.
Aha.
In the group.
Okay, no problem. If it is possible, otherwise, okay.
Okay, anything in particular? See, because if I share this, no, it is not going to help anyone if they randomly see it. But if you have anything specific, I will share it with you.
Actually, I missed it in between. Somebody had come, so that's why I was
So,
asking.
so
And
you can refer to the recording. So the
okay,
recording
sure.
is there. So just go through the recording, because I think Maniselvi, is that your personal this thing you have put in that document, or is it just an example that you have put in?
Actually, I
Like,
had prepared my personal example. I rewrote on that top of it because
Okay, so you work as a sales manager, so I was not aware of that, so that's why I was just
no.
got confused.
Actually, I had put some other goals, but just to bring relativity to relatableness to discussion, I changed those points there.
So that's where I just got confused. I thought like I was not aware of it maybe, so I just got confused around it. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, got it. It was very beautiful. In fact, I was thinking of doing something similar, like just putting my work in a week chart kind of a thing. They had asked to create a model week also, right? So, but you have already done it, and that's great. Like that was a great example. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah,
Yeah,
And in
very
this
fact, I
this
will
thoughtfully you
also
have
do
made
that
it
over the
actually. It
weekend.
was very nice.
because it took effort, it was not easy to put it because you had to go revisit the points again and again. So I just
Yeah,
thought
very
if you
true.
have something to start off, and then we can, build upon that. And any which is, since yesterday we were talking a bit more vague in terms of not having an example. So then I thought, okay, let's have it so that people can base it and discuss on that, basically.
Yes, and now it's very easy to relate now. So in terms of our own planning, our personal planning, like so you have made it simplified for us. So now I think everyone will be able to at least get started with planning of their own. So that's a great thing. Thank you. And now that we are like on Friday and we have a weekend to work upon, we can actually, if we take this seriously, we can actually work upon it in the coming 2 days.
Right. So on Monday, we will just try to finish some part of the book, maybe 10 odd pages, and then we can start discussing on how you have any issues with the plan that you have created, or we can just close the old book, complete the old book, and then start afresh the new one on Tuesday, if that goes with all's convenience. Yeah. Okay, then.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Yeah.
I
Okay,
have one
then.
question, Manisalvi. Like, did author mention somewhere that what might be the most common important reason that people don't work on their 12-year plan, like 12-week plan? Like, did the author mention something on that, or
He has
just
actually subtly told, like commitment. So he has said, where are the common pitfalls? So if you revisit the common pitfalls and tips that he has given, so all those are somewhere inherently covering where we miss the point and where we actually go wrong in the 12-week plan. So you can refer the common pitfalls wherever he has put it in the book. He has brought it out
So
very clearly.
one more thing, I had a question, not about the pitfalls, and you can rectify me if it is there in the pitfall. But there was this one thing that lurking on my mind, that, like, for example, like this week, my daughter just got sick, and maybe sometime it happens like we fall sick or some emergency creeps in or something like that happens. And I don't know, like maybe I missed that part, and it's already there, but just help me understand. Is this somewhere included in the book overall? How can we be, or is there a flexibility allowed in this process by the author, or has he given some strategy to how to work upon or tweak things around if something happens unexpectedly and one of your week or a few days of the important key days of the week or something just gets something happens and you are not able to follow through the plan? Is there something around that? Just
I
wanting
think
to
in the
understand.
common pitfalls, it is mentioned that you might go off the track, but then you join back. I remember reading it somewhere. Maybe I'll try to pull out. But see, to be real and to be very practical, these things will keep happening. At this very start, they have told 83% if you are doing your work, whatever you have committed, 83%, meaning he still says that 17 odd percent you will not be able to meet. It's still okay, right? So somewhere an average of 83% building itself says that you will lose your way. And practically, if I have lived so much of life and understand, things will go haywire. All I have to keep is monitoring. Somewhere in the next time, I will have to adjust. In the next day, I will have to accommodate. See how I can compensate maybe on weekends or do that. That's what I have practically done. And that's how I think you should. Just that guilt factor should not come that I could not do it. Be more focused on seeing what is a real scenario. Is there anything that you have to change, like for example habits have to be changed, something in the, so those things might be needed to look where you are consistently failing, right? Maybe there is an overcommitment, maybe right now is not the right time, so you'll have to look at that more realistically and then take a call what adjustment you need to do. But any plan
Yeah.
100% नहीं होता, adjustment करना ही पड़ेगा. Smoother the adjustment, it's easier on us, right?
Yeah, very well said. Just two things I would want to leave everyone with. Two things that just popped up for me personally, two quotes maybe. So one is the quote which one of my boss used to always help keep us reminding. So she used to always say that always under commit and over deliver. So this we normally it happens with everyone. There's a tendency of doing the other way around. So we overcommit and then we fall short on our commitment. That's what the author mentioned today, right? So this can be like a strategy that undercommit and over deliver. So that always put position. Second thing that I just heard one of our key member and coach from a group only. So he had shared this once in one of his sessions that planning planning is everything. uh, Plan is nothing but planning is everything. So I think the gist of the book lies in this, like it's all about planning. And this is like my takeaway, that this book tells us about the importance of planning. And as Mani Selvi said, right, like just rightly said, that we do fail, and the things are bound to happen, life happens. So but when we are aligned and when we know what's our priority through this planning process, I think that makes a lot of difference. So what he was suggesting through this quote, he was telling us that it's important that we sit ourselves down and we plan things, because that sets an intention and that sets us in a key frame of those things, and then we forget the plan. We I mean, in this book obviously we don't forget the plan, we stick to it. But he was saying that it's not about that everything should happen as per the plan, but then it's okay if the plan is not followed through. You can always tweak it here and there, but sitting and planning is very, very important. So I just remembered these two things, and I feel they are very much in alignment with whatever we are trying to achieve through this book. So just wanted to share it with everyone. So yeah,
Just
thank you.
just to make it simple, when we drive our car to destination, when we never drive in a like straight line, right? It's all about little here and there and things like that. But as long as we are driving right and starting on time, we reach the destination. So, just like creating a plan is, setting the intention into action basically. So when we don't have a plan in writing, it means we like it is more of a desire, not a like real commitment to take action. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the same things. We both are also repeating what Mani Salvi said in maybe different words, but yeah, that's what we just want to highlight, and maybe that could be a takeaway. And let's get to the planning, so we come more prepared and more ready to absorb the new knowledge from the new book uh, from the next week, and whatever plan we go through for this book also, like the final chapter. So yeah,
Right.
thank you, Mani
So
Salvi. You can close
Mansi,
and as well.
I have one doubt. This reading session, what we are going through, it comes under which block? Is it strategic or any other block?
it becomes a strategic block for me, Krishna. That I'm clear.
So So yeah, for us, like it depends on what we are reading also, Krishna, right? Like if whatever we are reading is in alignment with our personal goals or with our personal success, then it is obviously a strategic block for us. So that is how what we did this time, Maniselvi, and we were keen. Maniselvi was very keen on taking a poll, so we go with majority interest. And we decided to take a productivity related book at this time, because normally this is a work time for most of the people, right? So that is why we decided, let's take something around productivity, so that will be in alignment with our professional goals or productivity and things like that. So I mean, maybe we are trying to make it a strategic block, but you can see for yourself, like it might differ from person to person.
No,
Yes,
any
yes, yes.
any activity which is adding great value to you is a part of strategic block
Strategic block.
in terms of your goal. That's what I think.
Yes, yes.
So here, Krishna, I would say if you go purely with a book, strategic block will be different, okay? But what I'm actually saying, this is a strategic activity which is aligned to my goal, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
in terms of the 12-week year goal that I have, this is a strategic activity for me. That is, it is taking me
Yes.
nearer to that goal.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. So I have actually brought out points which are convenient for my application. But if you purely go for the book, then that is strategic block is a bit differently defined.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, a new library.
Mansi, you are going to share this recording, na? Link of this recording.
Yeah. We will be sharing
Okay.
that, and I
Okay.
can also share. I will be next step sharing the new book that I told you a while ago, right? The field
Yes,
Yeah,
guide.
yes.
and what I'll ask Saurabh to do, like I don't know how to do that. Maybe I'll have to figure that out. I can share the direct link of this today's recording also if you want. I will do that in fact, because we covered a lot of things, and Mani Selvi's presentation and everything was very crucial.
Yeah.
So I'll do that like I did like I think yesterday morning presentation. But I will also ask Saurabh to share the link of our channel that we have created for B Club, so that you can go through all the previous recordings or any books you want to go through. And I think that will really help. And especially I would highly insist that if anyone of you have missed the emotional agility book, I would recommend, highly recommend, go through the recording, because Mani Selvi has added like immense value during that book. She has brought in a lot of insights and her own personal learnings, and a lot of shares, and everything is very beautiful. So I will highly recommend. So I will ask Saurabh to share the link also, or maybe I'll figure out and I'll share it myself. But we'll share both the links. So yeah, no problem. Thank you for that. Thank you for like reminding.
And on a lighter note, do link with me on LinkedIn, because that is part of my goal, isn't it? Yeah. So have a nice weekend, and we'll connect back on Monday. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, everyone. Bye bye. Take care. Have a happy weekend. Bye.